Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet, and another heavyweight news and note smash-up video today, starting with a little bit of breaking news. So BoxingScene.com's Keith Idek is reporting that the WBC has ordered the start of free negotiation period pursuant to the rules and regulations for the mandatory bout between heavyweight champ Tyson Fury and interim champ Dillian Whyte. And as you can see here on screen, he also goes on to say, being told that sometime in March, either in Cardiff or Manchester for Fury Whyte, if the two sides can come to an agreement before forcing a purse bid. So I will look to do a bit more on this when there is a bit more information to hand. But this, at the time of recording, had just been out for an hour. Meanwhile, the former unified champion Andy Ruiz Jr. is looking forward to 2022, posting to social media, "Thank you to all my supporters. Recovery is going good. Getting ready for 2022. Hashtag Team Destroyer." So Ruiz Jr. had a knee injury which apparently had been troubling him for multiple years. So he had it recently. It's unclear actually, because he said he was having surgery, but then within a couple of weeks he was on social media and there didn't seem to be any support or any sort of bandaging, nothing of the sort. So I think we need a full, some details from Ruiz. Exactly what's happened. Maybe he did rehab it or has been rehabbing it without surgery. But Ruiz ready for 2022, it seems. Who that will be against, it's unclear. Browne has posted to social media that his strategy was to look old, slow and limited, and then to take over the fight against Whainga or Pilu. So check it out.
You hear the likes of Jeff Fennick in the commentary saying a lot of negative things, which is fine. He's allowed to. He's why not? It's Jeff Fennick, for fuck's sake. But everything that was done exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it, on purpose, the whole lot. I took my time. I relaxed. I literally went through the motions. I didn't gas out or anything like that. I wanted the longer rounds, or wanted to go longer rounds. I knew 100% he couldn't go longer rounds, so I was getting hit, but I was enjoying it, smiling, laughing, happy to just be back in the moment, in a ring, in Australia, loving life, getting the rounds under my belt. I mark up extremely easily, but I heal like Wolverine as well, so it probably looked a lot worse than it did. I was never hurt at any point. I didn't actually cut at any point. I've just got some bruises and stuff, which is fine. But that was exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to knock him out first round, because what's that going to prove? So coming from my last fight with Gallen, that went one round, I hadn't fought a long time prior to that. So for me, it was all about getting rounds, doing what I needed to do, and doing my thing, which I think I did that. So I got in there, I got amongst it, sights, sounds, the feels, what it's like being back in there, an opponent, referee, the whole lot. So for me, everything was done to my plan, to my specification. So you could say that I was relaxed or slow or past it or whatever the hell you want to say, I don't really care. But when it came down to it, I saw the opportunity and I took it. And I've got a WBA belt.
And to Browne's credit, he did conserve his energy in that fight, and clearly that was something that paid dividends in the end. But those first 4 rounds against Whainga or Pilu, that certainly was a fighter that was well past prime, washed up, slow, hittable, and he proved all those things in that fight. But all the same, it was a win. So he is now calling on some other fighters to fight him, saying on social media he wants the likes of maybe Sonny Bill Williams, the New Zealand heavyweight, come rugby player who's been a part-time heavyweight boxer. You've got Johnny Fisher, who he says he would love to fight him. Also Alan Barbic, as he's called him, and also Mahmoud Char. He says Char for the regular belt again. It is sort of a case at this point that Browne has a level, and obviously he can sort of take a little bit of punishment against some domestic guys like Whainga Opilu, but he didn't look good in that fight for the majority of it. But I think at any real level in the heavyweight division, he is going to get iced and brutally. The fight between Vlad Sirenko and Mikhail Wallisch, which was scheduled for December the 18th, is off. So this is because Wallisch is out through injury, but his promoter's B1 Boxing, so I've translated this post, they say the fight for Sirenko will go ahead. They will be looking for a new opponent. Meanwhile, George Fox, who lost to Kamil Sokolowski over the past weekend, has offered an explanation for his performance, saying on social media, and see here on screen, "I am frustrated with myself for a flat performance. While I understand that no explanation is due or owed to anyone other than my team, those close to me know I was battling flu in Spain followed by a bad chest infection returning to the UK. Both in the space of 4 weeks, leading up to a few days before fight night. I still thought I would have enough to control the fight, but felt flat throughout. I take full accountability for both my decisions after having no camp and for my level of performance. I expect high things for myself, and maybe I was arrogant in my approach, believing that I could get through despite those setbacks. I wasn't able to change tempo or come out of first gear as was physically exhausted and drained. I am mentally resolute and don't shy away from anything. Although it has upset me, this is my path. The destination remains the same, but the journey has been altered. I'm grateful for the supportive messages, but motivated and driven by both my own shortcomings and the circumstances. I invite that, for that is the field I have chosen. If you're sensitive, this isn't for you. Big love to all. It was a sloppy points decision. At times, everyone is an expert, but those who know. Now it is up to me to make amends." So George Fox there with an explanation. Certainly a number of things and red flags from what he's saying. I mean, you have to question, should he have even been in the fight? Should he have pulled out? Bearing in mind, he's a prospect that had, 5 fights under his belt. Did he really need to sort of put it all on the line against Kamil Sokolowski if he was well underdone? On the other hand, obviously, Frank Warren doesn't have shows every week, so this might have been the only opportunity to get in there for the next couple of months. So from that perspective, he may have felt he had to get in there, have a performance, and get on to the next one. But ultimately, he's done more harm than good for his career if these circumstances are to be believed. Obviously, after a loss, a lot of heavyweight boxers have a myriad of excuses, including George Fox here. But at the end of the day, he wasn't good enough. But if his preparations were the reason, has to shoulder some of the blame for that as well. And he did mention that he was perhaps a bit too arrogant in taking this fight given the circumstances that he was facing. So he will try to bounce back here, but Kamil Sokolowski, a deserving winner on the night. Someone else who's trying to bounce back is Trey Lippy Morrison. So he registered his first loss about a week ago on the Triller fight card to Mike Belligan. He is saying on social media, just so everyone knows, I'm fine, no excuses, hats off to Mike Belligan. And ending this heavyweight news mashup video, Tyrone Spong, the heavyweight who we have not seen for some considerable time. He failed a test against ahead of what would have been a fight with Alexander Usyk. That was, almost 2 years ago now. He's out walking a goat. Make of that what you will. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.